Do public service announcements (PSAs) help combat the dangers of distracted driving? By He Deep. What is considered distracted driving? Per the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, distracted driving, or the NHTSA, is defined as when drivers divert their attention away from the driving task to focus on another activity instead, such as navigation systems and cell phones, or more conventional distractions such as interacting with passengers and eating. What are the statistics for distracted driving? During the years of 2011 and 2012, 660,000 drivers were using cell phones or manipulating electronic devices while driving at any given daylight moment per the NHTSA. Also, as indicated by the graph below, between 2005, when measures for texting and driving were enacted, and 2006, there has been a huge drop in distracted accident-related crashes, but then it only decreases slightly until 2011 before it increases again. My claim. The issue with PSAs is that even though 97% of teens know texting and driving, a subset of distracted driving, is bad, still 43% of them still do it today. Why is that? If they are effective in preventing people from texting and driving, why do a great percentage of them still text and drive? Note: this study was conducted by a T&T with a sample size of 1,200 teens aged 15 through 19. Issue number 1. According to Kevin Gate, one of the people in Gate Communications argues that people are thrown facts, some of which are not convincing enough. He states that most PSAs should not be targeting universally accepted facts, but rather on the Insta-texter, the teen unable to wait a minute. An example of this can be seen in the Truth program, which targeted people who sold cigarettes as opposed to the possible dangers of smoking. Issue number 2. Parents, believe it or not, might be an issue to teens as they can be hypocritical towards their children. Per a study done by a T&T, 77% of teens are told by their parents not to text and drive, but ironically the parents do it themselves all the time. Note: this study was conducted by a T&T with a sample size of 1,200 teens aged 15 through 19. Issue number 3. Psychologically, when people tell you not to do something, you implicitly ask them if they should try it, even if death is a consequence. Think of Pandora's box. A quick synopsis of the story goes as such: Pandora was imbued with gifts such as beauty, musical ability, speech, etc. However, she was also given a curse of curiosity. When one of the gods gave her a box that would kill the opener, she couldn't help but open it. Humans are naturally curious. If you tell people not to do something, they will think about it over and over again and maybe even try it too. Counterclaim. A major argument in this is to incite a fear of death into the viewers of PSAs, such as the study done by Washington State University, or WSU, in their paper titled, "Fear of Death May Curb Youthful Texting and Driving." To test their hypothesis, they exposed people to a PSA which either added or removed skull and crossbones symbols. The study showed that from a national sample, the people who were exposed to the PSA containing the skulls and crossbones symbol reported significantly lower attitudes and intentions to text and drive. Counter-argument. The problem with the previous counterclaim is the missing quantitative data. With this missing data, it is hard to determine if this data is really statistically significant. Secondly, the other issue is that this study didn't show whether or not these death symbols affected people in the long term. Proposal. PSAs should not target teens, but rather the teen unable to wait a minute or the parents who are hypocritical to their children. PSAs should not try to incite a fear of death in a person due to the possible imbuement of the "I am stronger/better than that" mentality. Lastly, PSAs should avoid telling people not to do something as it might ironically tell them to go try it, like Pandora's box.